And I want to explain something to you. This is not an anti-grace message. You hear me? This is not an anti-grace message. I believe in the radical grace of God. I believe we haven't even scratched the surface of the radical grace of God. I believe so much in the radical grace of God, I can't stand it when people use the term greasy grace. You ever heard that term before? I hate the term greasy grace. I feel like when you use the term greasy grace, I feel like you are besmirching the grace of God. And I believe the grace of God is so much more radical than we could ever imagine. I mean, grace is radical. Do you know that? If you don't believe it, read the book of Romans. In the book of Romans, Paul, teaching on grace, 3 or 4 times has to stop in the middle of his teaching and go, now I know you're thinking I'm saying you can just do whatever you want to and God's okay with it. Because when he taught true grace, it was so radical to the human mind. So I am not preaching an anti-grace message. Some of you say, well, it just sounds like works to me. I'm not talking about that. I am not teaching anti-grace. I am teaching pro-faith. See, we access the grace of God by faith. Amen? Isn't that what the Word says? Come on, church. Isn't that what the Word says? We access the grace of God, the finished work of God. We access it by faith. Faith is my positive response to what Jesus Christ has already done. So recognize that by grace, Jesus is the ultimate sacrifice. My act of faith is I lay down my life for Him. Amen? God gave you a free will. How many know you got a free will? In response to my revelation of the free will, you know what I do with my free will? I give it back to God. I say, I don't want to make my own decisions. I want you to make my decisions for me. Amen. In my response to Jesus Christ being the complete sacrifice is I choose to lay down my life for Him. Amen. Come on, when your spouse tells you they love you, what do? You say, I love you too. Amen. You reciprocate with love. Sacrifice is an act of love. Amen. And it requires our own response.